Hey, it's Ross Shane, and today I'm going to use Boris FX Optics to convert this eyeball image into something a bit more sci-fi inspired. Optics is a standalone image editing application and a plugin for Photoshop and Lightroom that features 160 filters and thousands of presets. If you'd like to follow this tutorial, feel free to go to pexels.com and you can download the same image that I'm using. I'll include the details in the video description. If you're using Photoshop, we recommend converting your layer to a smart object here. Under Filter, you can find Boris FX Optics and apply the effect. Optics features a custom interface, effect categories at the bottom of the screen, layer-based system on the upper left, and parameters and presets in the upper right. First, I'm going to start by cropping my image right here, and then we'll just take that. And next I want to tint the eyeball, so I'm going to go to the Grads and Tints category and apply this sunset tint effect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply a mask on the optics layer. The spot mask is just a simple circle shape where we can play with the size and the edge softness. Then I'll add a little bit of blues to the tint here to get a look that I'm happy with. And now let's clean up this tint effect by adding another mask on this layer where we can use the path tool to draw a shape. And then what we're going to do is subtract this from the other shape. And you can use the compare tool here above the viewer to see the before and after. Now I'd like to play a little bit more with the color correction. So I'm going to add a new layer effect. And then we'll go to the color tab and apply the color correction effect. And I'll adjust the gamma and the contrast a bit to boost the levels up a little bit to the way I like it. And now I can also just duplicate my masks to isolate the color correction again just to the eyeball. Okay, this is a good base to get started. Now we're going to play a little bit with some fantasy sci-fi looks by adding another effect. Optics has some really excellent lighting and render effects. So here we're going to play with the sapphire lightning effect, which is called Zap. I'm going to use the S-Zap from filter, which basically uses the luminance of the shot to create an array of lightning bolt generators. And it's really easy to play with the amount of bolts that you have and parameters such as the width, the branchiness, all kinds of parameters to really dial in the kind of lightning generator that you want to get. And now we'll go ahead and duplicate the masks that we've already created so we can isolate the lightning just to the eyeball area. And we can even add a third little mask here to isolate the center of the pupil. And here we have our transfer modes. Let's try an overlay, which will integrate the look much nicer. And now we can duplicate our lightning effect layer. And we'll just make sure that our masks are in the right order. And now I can go ahead and just play with the different parameters, changing the color, the amounts of bolts, and many of the different parameters. So we can kind of mix this in and get a nicer little look going. One of the nicest things about using optics for image editing is everything is really procedural. So you're not rendering until the very end of your process. So everything is live and you can just really make lots of creative choices. And now I'll use the default S-Zap filter to add some more specific little lightning bolts. This gives me a lot more control to play with the exact positioning and really align these exactly the way I want to on the eyeball. And again, let's just duplicate this effect and we can reposition and play with the parameters to quickly just iterate on this lightning bolt look. And let's again check out our before and after. We can hit F4 to toggle the full screen. And to top this off, let's go into the Film Lab category where we can really start playing with the final look. The Looks effect has tons of great presets, and here you can really just find lots of great looks, including black and white effects and grain. For example, bleach bypass. But I'll choose color reversal as my final look and then mix it down a little bit in our opacity settings. And when I'm done, I can go to File, Save Setup if I want to reuse just these effects again on a different clip. Or I can actually just save the file with the setup embedded in the final clip. That way I can always open it up in Optics if I wanted to make more changes. And if you were using the Optics plugin in Photoshop, all you need to do is hit the Done button, and you're going to have your Optics project back in Photoshop as your smart filter. And for more tutorials and visual effects training, visit borisfx.com.